Well, I recommend keeping a schedule so you know when you want to do your alignment. So generally I do it about every other oil change, or say about every 8,000 miles. You want to do it at least twice a year. It's important to make sure that you're getting equal wear on every part, and just making sure that your whole steering setup is done properly. So there are generally 5 things I do as part of an alignment, and on the Jeep Wrangler, which we have here, 2 of those are non-adjustable, 2 of the harder parts, so that leaves only 3, which is just going to make this job even easier. So I'm going to go through all 5 quickly, and only one will really require much work here, which I'm going to show today, which is setting your toe in. But anyway, so part 1 is camber, and so camber is the way your tires lean, so it's how this tire leans in or out. And so this is non-adjustable on a Jeep, unless you buy special offset ball joints, but you're not going to do that. So that's nothing you have to worry about. Generally the Jeep has probably slightly positive camber, but nothing to worry about. So next is caster, which is a measure of the axis of rotation relative to your tire. Again, non-adjustable unless you have adjustable control arms or long arms. Note that lifting a Jeep will be reducing your positive caster, which is something that you want. So every car is positive caster. It kind of puts the force in front of the driving wheels, so it helps your wheels straighten out after a turn. And so whenever you lift your Jeep, you're going to be reducing that positive caster slightly, and so you might want to eventually, you're going to need to get adjustable control arms or longer ones in order to go back to normal, because that's going to cause a lot of instability and wobble. So the next part I would say is rotating your tires, which is pretty self-explanatory. The tires being in different positions get worn differently. The tread wears down different amounts based on what position they are on the car, so you want to rotate them about this time. Fourth part would be balancing. So your tires will have little weights to make sure that they're balanced. So if they're not balanced, it just creates all kinds of wobble problems. So you can see right there all these little weights right there. So that's been put on by the manufacturer to balance this tire. So this is the one part that you can't really do without a lot of special equipment. You need either like a big computer, or Harbor Freight sells a kind of do-it-yourself one with a like bubble level for about $80. I'll link that in the description below, but this is something that generally you can just take to a shop to get done. So lastly, and what the main part of this video is going to be about setting your toe in. So your toe in is basically how the front of your tires should point in slightly. Toe out would be the opposite. So for the Jeep TJ, this should point in by about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. So that's what we're going to do here by adjusting the tie rod. So what I want to do first is loosen these 2 bolts securing the tie rod, one on each end. They're 1/2-inch bolts. Once you have these loosened, we're up to the hard part, which is actually measuring it, so we're ensuring that we're going to get correct values to set the toe in and toe out. So I'm just going to show you one way. There are a lot of different ways to do this if you look online, but basically what I do is look at the tread pattern on the tire and find something that you can use on both when you're measuring in the front, and then follow this around up over the tire and attach to the same point on the back of the tire. So I just put my tape measure here, and let's see, let's try thumbtack. So we want to put it about the same height, and then tack it in. It's just in the part that's sticking out of the tread, so it won't hurt it in any way, just to get it to stay there. Alright. And now going to the same part on this tire, trying to keep it level. So as you see, I would say I have just about 66.5 inches on the front, maybe a 1/16 less, 66 and 7/16. So let's try it for the back. Your tie rod is a double-threaded pipe, so it's left-hand threaded on one side and right-hand threaded on the other side. So if you take a pipe wrench and you rotate it, it's going to change the length. So to be honest, I'm not sure which way it's gonna pull the wheels together or push them out. So I'm pretty much just gonna have to test it and see how it goes. And I'm gonna use a cloth here, just so I'm not damaging the paint. It needs a little extra motivation. Alright, time to measure again, see what we got. Eventually now, after probably 4 times, gotten it down to about a 1/16 of an inch difference. For your reference, pushing or rotating the tie rod this way, so whatever direction you want to call that, will actually be giving you toe out. So that's what that does, just for future reference. And so now all we're going to do is tighten everything back up, give it a drive, see how it feels, and that's pretty much it. That's the toe in, and that's the rest of the alignment. One last thing, if your steering wheel is kind of off-centered after this, that means you need to adjust your drag length. So that's this right here. So it's the same kind of thing. You loosen these 2 bolts and then turn this with a pipe wrench and do that until your steering wheel is straight again, and that'll fix it.